Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. And today I'm going to be doing a review on Home Depot's new for 2023 THD 3000, also known as Cold Hay. So where do I even begin with this guy? I guess we'll just start with the detail from bottom all the way up. And let me just say right off the bat, this guy is an insane 7 feet tall. Really in all the videos, he looks more like 6 feet, but in person he is very tall and very menacing. So just starting at the bottom, right off the bat, you can see he kind of has an actual boot and kind of like a robotic leg. Unfortunately, kind of one issue I had with mine is that the top of the leg kind of fell off, the robotic leg. That can be easily fixed with some hot glue, but kind of sucks. I guess maybe it wasn't packaged in the best way. But the boot's super detailed. It's kind of hard to see on camera since it just mostly looks all black on camera. But let me show you the boot real quick. As I said, insanely detailed. It's a good hard plastic, so it's not gonna be flimsy like the SVI clown shoes. And then his robotic leg right here, also super detailed. I don't know which one I actually like better. I think they both look equally as good. So now moving up, we just have his clothing. Now admittedly, it's not the most insanely detailed, but I think it works well for what it is. You can't really see, but his shirt's really just one big piece, and then he has pants too. But they're actually kind of hard to see. Because those two things draping down are actually still his shirt. So his shirt's really large. I like how there's stains on it. It's kind of like oil stains, I guess. And then I guess we can just move to the side real quick. So here is his kind of blade arm. Now I know some people don't like it because it lights up blue, but that's a pretty easy fix. All you have to do is just unplug the blue light. Personally, I think it looks fine. I know some people think it looks very fake and plasticky, which I guess is kind of true, but you know, they weren't gonna have an actual sharp blade. But I think it works fine for what it is. I do actually like the blue light. It actually is kind of hard to see in video, but it actually lights up blue very, very well. And then kind of moving up the arm, he has kind of this robotic kind of stub of an arm, and this is super detailed. Let me switch to the side real quick. Yeah, as I said, even just the stub on the arm is super detailed, even though you're probably not even gonna see that, and it's just another piece that really makes me love this prop even more. Moving on to the other hand, I know some people might like the blade better, but I actually might like this hand equally as much, so let me switch to that angle real quick. And here we go. So just on the edge of his hand, he kind of has these like robotic parts sticking out with kind of fleshy pieces. I think this looks absolutely amazing. It's something so simple, but just really works. Even the hands detail is just very detailed, even though you're probably not even gonna pay that much attention to it. There's even like veins popping out there you can kind of see. And then also kind of on this arm, he has the cape. I think the cape just really adds to the character and makes him look more imposing and like a villain. He looks fine without the cape, but once I had the cape on, that to me was like the cherry on top. It really just adds so much to the character, even though it's something as simple as a cape. And then next up, I actually turned the light mode off just so you can see it a bit better, since the LEDs in them are actually pretty strong on camera. Which I should actually mention this. He actually has 3 modes, I should say. Obviously, he has the off mode. Obviously, you know, the sensor mode. But he actually has like a light show mode where just his lights light up. So the lights in his chest, his eye, and his blade. It's kind of cool, but something I do wish is that right before his sensor activates, the lights were immediately on when he was plugged in. Kind of wish there's a way to kind of merge the sensor and the light mode, but that's okay. So let's get on to the detail of the chest. So this might be one of the coolest pieces. It kind of sucks because it's kind of covered by the clothing, but you can actually see his IR sensor there as well. but just the metal plates look super good in person. I love the fleshy pieces. And then even up here, these kind of look like hot glue strands, but those actually light up blue. So that's pretty cool. I'll show all the lights once I get to the demo. And then that kind of just merges onto the arm with the blade. And then also down here we have this spine kind of piece, which looks pretty cool. It's just kind of a plastic spine piece over a metal pole. And then he has those two fake wires kind of coming down, and those also attached to the pole. And then finally we have the headpiece, and this is probably the most impressive piece. The wires coming down is just a super cool addition. This metal piece here is actually kind of a foam filled latex. It's just so the servo can move around a bit better. But man, this face is super menacing. The red light addition's super cool. It's super realistic in real life. And it actually kind of has the texture of those old kind of gemmy props from like the 2010 era. Like I have the 2010 Freddy, and like his head is kind of the exact same like vinyl material as his. So that just kind of gave me some memories just of those old gemmy props. And it really goes to show that this is how I imagine props would be in the future, not kind of a regression. Because I feel like the most animation before like servos was still those 2010 props. And it was kind of weird how we haven't gotten anything crazy animated ever since servos like Grimm. But this, in my opinion, is the true utilization of the servo technology. His eye and his blinking is by far the best part. Now shifting over to the back, it's kind of hard to see, but you won't even see this in a hunt, but they still added detail back here, which really does make me appreciate that Home Depot added so much love into this prop, so much care. The metal back here looks super good, and it just adds even more to the character. So now that we talked about his detail, which is absolutely fantastic, a super detailed animatronic, we should probably talk about the overall setup of this guy. And right off the bat, I'm just going to say this is SVI, so the setup's not going to be anything crazy. So obviously for the setup, you start at the base, you just place the base, and then you attach both the kind of leg pulls on. There's only actually 4 leg pulls with this guy, which is kind of nice. So you just attach all 4 of those, then you attach the 2 feet, and then there's kind of pool noodles to add depth to his legs, even though you really can't even see his legs that much. And then all you do after that is you just attach the pants on, which once again you can't even really see. Attach kind of the module, which by the way, this guy's module has so many wires. I mean, like, it's literally 6 wires from the module, which personally I've never seen before. Really just goes to show how much movement this guy has. And then you kind of attach his shirt on, and then kind of the chest piece, which I don't know if I mentioned this, but this whole chest piece is just one big piece. So it's like probably the biggest piece in this whole prop. And then you just kind of adjust the shirt. You bring these 2 wires down, and then you attach this guy's head with this little neck piece. I also forgot to mention, you also attach the spine piece once you add the module, which basically all the module is, it's a normal control box, even has like a waist loop on it, and there's even a pull sticking out of it. So I'm really glad that they made this guy less parts than he could have, because they could have just made like the waist, the hip hoop, another separate part, but I'm glad that they connected it just so it's less work to put them together. And then since this guy's servo, you kind of got to screw his head in, then just attach those wires down. Attach both the arms and the blade, which by the way, to connect the blade is kind of like the 12-footers connection, where you like put it on, then you twist it, so it's not like a snap lock or anything. Then you add the cape, wire him all up, and then he's ready to go. So for setup, this guy really isn't too hard. I mean, it's SVI, kind of what we expected, but admittedly some of the wiring was kind of weird to get to. Let me show you that real quick. So back here you can't really see, but this pouch actually holds all the wires. At first I didn't really know how to get them in there, but it's just simple Velcro, it's just to kind of hide it. But truth be told, you really don't have to hide any of the wires like at all, since it fits with a character and nobody's really gonna notice. So it's kind of up to you if you actually want to hide the wires or not. So for our next kind of section in this review, we're going to be talking about animation, and this guy, that's probably his most impressive feat. So first of all, his arm moves up and down, this arm moves up and down, and obviously his head's the main part. So his neck is servo activated, so it kind of moves everywhere. And then he has mouth movement, he has servo eye movement, and he blinks. That's right, he blinks. It's not just like a plastic piece back here that just comes down. It actually like stretches his head, which makes it super realistic. I'm pretty sure Lethal Lily and I think Yoda has an animation. I might be wrong on that, but those three props from Home Depot are easily the most animated we have like ever seen in Halloween retail. I mean, it's kind of crazy how much animation these guys have. I do have one kind of con, and that's these arm motors are super squeaky. Now, obviously, if you have this guy on max volume, you won't really hear it. Personally, I don't mind the squeaking as long as, you know, they last. But it's kind of concerning that they're already starting to squeak after like 12 activations I've done this guy. So I'm gonna try to save him until I actually use him for my Halloween party, because I do not want those arm motors wearing out. Although worst case scenario, I would rather have his arm stop working than his head, since, you know, that's kind of the main selling point. So overall, his animation is absolutely fantastic. Probably the reason why I got this guy. This is actually technically my first animatronic I've ever gotten from Home Depot. I did get the 12-foot skeleton just last year, but that's technically not even an animatronic, more of just yard decor. But still a fantastic prop. So I wasn't actually planning on getting this guy, but when I saw this demo video, my jaw dropped, and this guy is just absolutely insane. And I am glad that I picked him up for the price of $280, which actually is not bad at all. I will say this about Home Depot, their prices are like infinitely better than Spirits. They have way less of a markup compared to Spirits. And just kind of looking at Home Depot stuff, it really goes to show just how overpriced Spirit is, unfortunately. I mean, for crying out loud, last year nozzles was $350, and for the same price you can get like a 10-foot bat with servo motors and a 12-foot wingspan at Home Depot. So I really hope Spirit does improve on their prices, because honestly, in retail, Home Depot has by far the best prices compared to something like Spirit. Even like Party City too. Theirs isn't nearly as bad as Spirit, but at the same time it also is, because now for Party City, most of their props are like $500. I mean, it's ridiculous. But anyways, rant aside, $280 for this guy is an absolute steal. Unfortunately, he is only online only, so you cannot pick him up in stores. I'm pretty sure the only two props from Home Depot that are online only is the 12-foot ghost and this guy. It does make sense though. This really isn't a prop that would appeal to the public. Really, the only use you're gonna give this guy is if you're doing a hunt. Like, most likely you're not gonna see this guy like on the porches of normal houses, because he's just such a niche prop. You know, he doesn't really fit into a lot of stuff, but that's also part of what I like about him. Like, we really don't ever see any like robot props, and I think that's just, I think this is by far the best entry we could have got for robot props. Unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna see many more robot props, because this guy really didn't sell well at all. That being said, it is still July, so maybe he'll sell out by the Halloween season, which I'm kind of hoping he does, because if this guy sells well, then that means there'll be more props like him. Although on the good side, I do think we are going to see this blinking animation again, since Lethal Lily, kind of his counterpart with kind of the same motion, sold really well and actually sold out the first night she was dropped. But anyways, for his price, easily like one of the best prices you can get just in Halloween retail this year. 7 feet tall, and with all this motion and all this detail, 100% worth it. And finally, I just want to discuss his phrases, then we'll go on to the demo. So his actual voice, I think, is super amazing. I know some people are complaining about the phrases, but I think they're fine. I think they work for what they are. I think they're just super good, super solid. Not like the most amazing phrases we've ever seen, but not like horrible either, not like Johnny Punk level. So I think his phrases are just solid, nothing insane. And for my final thoughts on him, he is probably one of my favorite props, just favorite animatronics we've gotten in like the past like 8 or 9 years. I'm gonna be completely real with you guys. I feel like he's definitely, he might be in my like top 10 of all time. Just the motion and the idea is just absolutely insane. I think it was executed perfectly. It looks way cooler in real life as well. And I really do love that he has the light mode too. I didn't really mention this, but yes, you can kind of see them light up the kind of strands there and the wires, which is just super cool. And really just kudos to Home Depot. Let's be honest, we're all clowning on Home Depot for their Halloween lineup. Like pre-2020 or even 2019, they were not really a competitor at all, but man, have they stepped up their game. I never thought that, you know, like a warehouse, a Home Depot of all things is, you know, a Halloween retailer to compete with Spirit. But here we are. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to like, subscribe, share, and of course, goodbye, everyone.
Don't bother running, human. My tracking sensors still function, and your destruction is imminent. My internal calculations have determined that your chances of escape are less than 1%. Goodbye. I have been sent to exterminate you weak humans. Nothing will get between me and my objective, for that is my programming. It is pointless to resist. We are superior. Halt! You are an unknown intruder in this sector. Scanning for identification.